What's up, guys? Bassmaster Elite Series season is over. Man, it flew by this year. We got some time off now, so wanted to take. I'm gonna do a lot of videos in this off season, guys, to try to help you guys and kind of spread some knowledge and kind of tell you how this crazy little brain works. But just got back from upstate New York, and we wanted to talk something I haven't really talked about, and it's something that I absolutely love to do, and that's buzzbaits, guys. Most of you have thrown a buzzbait before. There are so many different sizes, actions, skirts, no skirts, toads, swim baits. There's so many different opinions on buzzbaits, and you know what? If you have a favorite one, keep throwing it. But I think I'm gonna tell you guys a little something that you need to look out for when it comes to knowing when to pick up a buzzbait. A buzzbait, catching fish on a buzzbait is 100% condition related. And I'm gonna kind of tell you guys a few stories from this year where this buzzbait's really bailed me out, and why I decided to pick it up when I did. Guys, buzzbaits, as most of you know, will catch absolute big ones all year long. No calendar, no temperature, they will eat it all year long, and a big one will eat this thing too. One of my favorite times of the year, depending on where you are in the country, to throw a buzzbait, it's gonna be post-spawn. You know, post-spawn, if you hit that window right and you have the right conditions, you can really catch some big post-spawn fish on a buzzbait right here. You know, I'm gonna tell you guys two stories of how this thing bailed me out. One, I say bailed me out, is Lake Champlain, because Lake Champlain, 2 days in a row, I ran all the way down to Ticonderoga. If you guys are familiar with it, that's a long run down, had to get gas, and that is a very big lake. So anyway, I spent a day of practice down there in Ticonderoga, and it was post-spawn. And had a decent day down there one day in practice, and I didn't have a great practice down there. It's just, that's where I had the best of all of my practice days. And I threw a buzzbait in practice. I went down there with that on my mind. These fish are post-spawn. There's a lot of milfoil, a lot of submerged vegetation. I was like, I'm gonna find them on a buzzbait because it's gonna be post-spawn. And I threw it on and off in practice, never got a bite on it, not one. You know, most of my bites down there were flipping, chatterbait, that kind of thing. But I just knew, you know, especially come to the, tournament time and the conditions that we were having, I still had it on my front deck because I knew, day one, I went through chatterbaiting and flipping and stuff and a little bit of wacky worm and caught some fish doing it. I only had like 12 pounds. And guys, I literally had like an hour left to fish on day one. I had like 11 or 12 pounds maybe. We had overcast, super cloudy, slick, calm conditions. That to me is when I pick up a buzzbait, especially post-spawn, guys. And I thought about it a few times throughout the day and I just didn't throw it. Finally, I was like, man, it just feels right. I had a Marshall with me. I said, man, it just feels right. Picked up a buzzbait. They went to smashing it. Slick, calm, especially in submerged vegetation. When you've got a lot of submerged vegetation, you slow roll a buzzbait over that, especially when it's calm. A lot of times they can't stand it. And a lot of times though, fish will just swirl at it, but at least then you know, okay, maybe they don't want it. If a fish would roll at it, you can throw your little wacky worm, whatever there, and probably catch them 9 times out of 10. So I picked it up and they went to choking it. When I mean choking it, I mean every one of them. Never lost a fish doing it. They were just absolutely crushing it, including a big one. So I ended up weighing like 17 first day, a little better than middle of the pack. So day 2, as some of you saw the video, actually I had to get my water pump changed. First day of the time, I was an hour and a half late getting on the water. Still made the run, almost didn't. Still made the run all the way down there because I figured that buzzbait pattern out and I knew we were gonna have similar conditions on day 2. So I went down there on day 2, picked up a buzzbait, and they were chewing it from the moment that I started. A lot of them, my first limit went like 12 or 13 pounds. And then I started catching a couple of big ones. I got into an area that I hadn't been to yet and started catching some big ones on it, guys. But again, it's slicked off, especially post-spawn. Now, they wouldn't eat it in practice, guys. I don't think those fish were quite post-spawn enough. There is a window, you're probably, and that bite was just getting good in that tournament, that buzzbait bite, because it was not there in practice. So another week or so, that place right there would have lit up with the buzzbait, guys. It'll catch big ones when nothing else will. So anyway, ended up catching a 19-pound bag, couldn't make it back. the waves, but you know, you take that risk, you make that run, you take that risk. So I did not make it back, but Buzzbaits will absolutely catch them. I'm gonna show you another one. Lake Fork this year, guys, they were post-spawn, about the same. Threw a buzzbait in practice, couldn't get them to eat it. I think it was on day 2, I had a much tougher day. I was up there, I was like in the top 20 after day 1. I don't know, I had 20 pounds or so the first day. And the second day I was struggling. I only had like 10 or 11 pounds with about an hour and a half left. It got cloudy, it slicked off. I had an area that I knew had submerged vegetation in it, where some fish were ganged up with some shad spawn, but they wouldn't eat it. So clouded up, slicked off, ran in there, picked up a buzzbait and caught like a 6-pounder and caught 2 or 3 other fish that cold. Ended up with a good bag the second day to get me into the third as well. But it's just understanding conditions, guys, especially post-spawn. You know, there is such thing as a fish are not post-spawn enough yet. These are fish that are probably 2 to 3 weeks away from spawning. They like to get into vegetation. When the sun comes up high, they like to bury themselves in it. When you get cloud cover and slick calm, they like to slide in holes where they can see. And I really think that's the ticket with a buzzbait, especially around vegetation. Now you can do the same thing around wood, docks, guys, you can catch big ones, but understanding when to pick it up is the key. So that's 2 different tournaments this year that I caught them on this thing that I did not catch them in practice on, and tried to get bites on practice, but I knew post-spawn this was gonna play at some point. So it was just instincts on when to throw this thing. And then throughout the year, guys, especially in the summertime right now, guys, we have those evening thunderstorms that pop up and it gets cloudy and the storms start approaching, and especially when you're around submerged vegetation, guys, this buzzbait right here will absolutely kill them. But a little bit about this buzzbait, guys. This right here have no affiliation with them, but that's that little Jacob Wheeler finesse buzzbait. It's a little small, has a very small blade on it. It has a shortened shank on it that way, and it's made for a toad. As you can see there, it's got a little bait keep on it too that keeps that toad on there. It comes with a skirt, but not on it, but has a really good bait keep for a toad or a swim bait, depending on the situation. And what I really like about this thing is you can really reel this thing at really, really slow speeds, and that buzzbait will stay up, and it has great sound to it right out the package. You don't have to do a whole lot of tuning to it. No affiliation with, I'm not even sure what brand that is, but I know Jacob Wheeler's face is on it, but I don't care. This thing absolutely catches them. You know, the setup on a buzzbait, guys, very important. 50-pound braid. I want braid on this setup because I really want to get a good hook in that fish when they come up and blow up on it. 50-pound braid, guys. 7.3. Medium heavy fast by Victory. I've told you guys many times before, the 7.3 medium heavy fast by Victory is I do so much with it, guys. This is one of the most versatile rods on the planet right there. I see a lot of guys trying to throw a big stick, a 7.4 or 7.6 heavy. Guys, you need a little bit of limberness in your rod with this buzzbait because you're trying to make really long casts. See, and you're trying to cover a lot of water at the same time. So make sure you have a good setup there, guys. I crank that drag down as hard as I can. And when those fish blow up on it, I hit them as hard as I possibly can. If that's a big hook, you got to get through that fish's mouth, especially a big fish. That's a little harder to get hook point penetration through that fish's mouth. So guys, very important. I like to throw it on a toad because it gives them a more profiled, I guess you could say, a smaller profile for those fish to really key on, and they get this, I feel like, more than a skirt. But that's just me. But guys, that little setup right there, buzzbait post-spawn, even into the summertime when you have the right conditions. Of course, in the summertime, first 30 minutes of daylight, last 30 minutes of daylight as well, but especially when an evening thunderstorms pop up. Good time to pick up a buzzbait or a plopper, one of the two, depending. Slick calm, I'm gonna pick up a buzzbait. We got wind and waves a little bit, I'm gonna pick up a big whopper plopper. So guys, great time of the year. Post-spawn, summertime, all the way into the fall, guys. Have this on your front deck, fish the conditions, and just go with your gut, guys. But this buzzbait, I promise you, will put some big fish in your boat all year. Fish the right conditions, guys. Thanks for joining in. Hit me with some comments if you have any questions, guys. If you're watching this on YouTube, please subscribe to this channel. Got a lot more to come, guys. Dream big, tight lines. See you guys next time.